When I was a kid, people would say, "Hey, brah," and people would. It was a thing, like the way people in England will say, "Oi." And then there was this trend of saying, "Ham Lincoln," in response to someone who said, "Hey, brah, I gotta go." You know those things you forget? I know that sounds paradoxical, but you know what I mean. Something that is in there, but you didn't know was still in there. Like a memory or a sensation or some peccadillo, something pathological or semi-pathological, or really not even that big of a deal, but it looks pathological because in comparison to the rest of your perfect life, it looks horrifying. Okay, well, this isn't a story about something horrifying. It's more where I started, the thing that is in there that I no longer remembered. An old friend of mine who decided her middle name was Beansworth. And my dad called her that until he was no longer on this planet. That was just all he called her, Beansworth. It's a fun middle name, isn't it? Like a family name? Like, Stanley Beansworth McMullen. That'd be a great name. By the way, Stanley, if you're listening, write a comment below and let us know you're out there. So this friend Beansworth had me over to her house. I don't know what we were doing. Perhaps we were gathering before going to supper, or some other people were coming over. I don't know. She put something on and said, "This reminds me of you." And I had no idea what it was. It was this kind of Windham Hillish sounding piano music, but higher quality composing. And I leaned into it and I thought, this is beautiful. I love that this reminds her of me, but I don't know what it is. This went on for about 2.5 minutes. And then in came the voice, the unmistakable voice of Rickie Lee Jones. And I thought, oh yes, I know what this is. It's Rickie Lee Jones. It's the album The Magazine, which I loved. Came out in the mid-'80s, and it was after a long lull because she had some severe issues with alcohol and other drugs. And this was her re-entry into the scene. So, she's an acquired taste, like a fine port. And Beansworth played this for me, and it turned out, because I'd forgotten, that I had this album and listened to it all the time. And the time between my listening to it all the time and her playing a cassette version of it might have been 3 years, maybe 4, might have been less. And there she was playing this piece called Prelude to Gravity, which is followed by the song Gravity, about a girl who thinks nobody knows where she is or who she is. They can't see her. They can't see her. So she sets a fire under the L train.